This is Jeremy Swinger with the Rice Trader. Just getting our weekly review of the TRT and showing you some of the key points we're seeing in the market. Obviously, this week we're doing something a little different. We're using a new program as I'm traveling. I've been in the Philippines and Thailand and now in Cambodia this week to look at the rice markets and talk to our clients and friends. So it's been a wonderful and interesting week, and so I have much to share personally. Even though it's been somewhat slow in some ways because it's going to be Chinese New Year here very quickly, there's actually a lot of activity going on. And on that first key point, just to quickly go into what's happening in the market. Definitely there's a depression going on. It's like we've been talking about for the last several months. With the world having such high food supplies, high soybean supplies, high wheat supplies, high rice supplies, it's very difficult to keep prices high. And you've seen this dramatic reduction in Viet prices because of that, which I'm going to show in a few minutes. And this has really affected the psychology of the global market in rice, realizing that we really could go to $300 a ton, that prices really are going to be depressed to a point. So definitely a fascinating week overall, But you're seeing it in the trade. There's definitely a move in psychology to an idea that we really do have too much. It's going to be difficult to trade. Supplies aren't going to be just as easy just to carry and know you're going to be able to turn that into revenues. So definitely a shift in the mentality. And of course, it goes back to China. With China having 80% of a stock-to-use ratio, very difficult for us to be able to see them as active as they once were. So, and in addition to the changes, I'm going to be showing you kind of some graphs this week. This new program allows me to share a little bit from my computer, so I can show you some of the TRT things that I'm looking at and that we're showing this week. So let's try it out for the first time. So you should be seeing, and hopefully you are, my screen right now, and I'm just going to look at some of the prices and talk about this, allowing us to get a little more in depth in our short time together. But you can see this in the Viet prices. There's probably lower Viet prices I've heard than this 340. Thai is probably a little bit lower at this point as well on the week. But definitely prices are in the downswing, and this is affecting the market. If you even look at this, and I always like to look at the 1 and 5 year changes. The 1 year changes are just dramatic as well. You're seeing a real depression, since the World Conference even, of these prices overall. And, lack of China demand, China pushing into Africa and other places, clearly large stocks, growing stocks throughout the world in soybeans and rice, just all coming together in so many ways that are really affecting things, but you're also affecting many levels. So let me just go to even in the Philippines here, as we're moving on. This would be the great hope that we've talked about, the tarification and definitely a key thing, and why we're going to be very focused on the Philippines this week, because of this large amount of supply. You want to look at what's happening and what are the places that demand can shift. And the Philippines is very interesting because we know there's a lot of gray trade happening. We can see their trade over time here as we look. And you can see, we've had the ups and downs. And normally about 1.7 million is what they really need before gray trade. The question is, does this tarification show to more actual non-grain trade be more open, or does it lead to increased trade? That's the real question. And of course, it has yet to be signed as we're going to print here. It definitely looks like it will be signed into law. So that also needs to be watched. But the team is great, as you can see here, just as I can show for the first time as we look at all the great graphs, looking at things from different angles, looking at it by different countries of who's bringing in, and definitely the shift as the Thais have remained very strong. The Viets have definitely taken large quantities in. And with this cheap Viet price, just to kind of go back to that point, you're going to just see a lot of demand go to Vietnam right now. Thailand even at a 380 and Vietnam at 330, you're going to have real issues in inducing players to make that big premium, which is why many players are saying you're pulling the rest of the origins down. Concerns in Cambodia, concerns in Thailand. It's all coming together, and only so much can go into the Philippines. So definitely some great graphs made by the team, and I just would suggest both this and the Parbo part later on there's some great things to look at in those markets, especially the Philippines for all of us who need to watch that. But those interested and active in the parbo market, I love this quarterly report. It says just some key graphs for us to watch as you go through the year, watching the various origins. And, what are some of the players that aren't buying as much or buying a lot this year? As we can see, Nigeria is kind of in their flat cycle over the last several years from the peaks in the 2012-ish, 2011-ish time there. Now, these are key things to watch. So, hopefully my quick summary of this is just kind of showing it more graphically than previous times. So with that, let's kind of go back to just me speaking here, and hopefully it's popped up correctly. Looks like it. So what else would I say for this week? So there's a depression in the market. There's a lot of concern, a lot of high stocks, new crops coming. These are going to probably go for a time. After that, I would say it's worthy to look at the overall global political situation, especially the U.S. right now. The U.S. has got trade issues with Mexico and Canada with the NAFTA not approved. They have the China issue still out there. And they've lifted the ban on the government shutdown, which allow us to get some government data and to push forward. But it's still a major issue that these things are, could the U.S. close back down in 2 more weeks, because it's only a 3-week lifting of the funding. So, it's a very interesting and active market, albeit in the midst of the Chinese New Year coming, where Asia is going to get slow. And, I can already feel it here where the players are saying, I don't want to talk to the market anymore, Jeremy, let's have a good time. And so very much so a good time is going to be had in a resting time for many in the next week or so. So with that, I just thank you guys for the time. Hopefully I summarized some of the key points in the world market right now for you. Obviously the Rice Trader is worth reading every week with all the graph and all the data. I can only do so much in a quick video of overviewing some of the sentiments and things happening in the market. I would note, and just as a closing note, as we get into the time ahead, and as I'm traveling here this week in Cambodia and in Thailand and the Philippines, the next time we'll see everybody is the TRT conference in Dubai. It's just going to be a quick one. I believe this has already been sent out by the staff, just to show you guys. We're definitely going to see a lot of our friends at Gulf Food. It's going to be a nice time for all the rice people to get together on the 20th. My hope is that so many people want to register that we have to go back to the hotel and kind of increase our gathering for the social at least, because I'd like to have the whole global rice industry at this networking thing, with Gulf Food being such an active place. It's nice to have our whole industry just have their own pause and get together. So hopefully I'll see you all there. Again, this will be in the TRT this week, as is our other meetings. We have chosen the Philippines as the World Rice Conference for next year, with so much activity and so many of the trade wanting us to have it there. So we'll give more details on that soon, but that will be November 11th to 13th as well. So with that, I'm just going to stop my sharing and sign off. I really appreciated everything, and I hope you guys have a good week and a nice Chinese New Year.